What's up, y'all? Did you watch what happens live with Andy after Just Kicking It? Did you? I'm sure you stayed and watched it, right? I am your girl, Talisa Rae. Welcome back to my channel. Hey, it's your first time here? That's cool. That's what's up. Stay. Click the subscribe button. Become a ray of sunshine. What's up, ray of sunshines? How you doing? What's going on with you? And so I'm going to say this to all of y'all. Is your notification bell clicked already? Are you being notified, alerted of the videos that I am uploading? If it is not, you need to go ahead and click it now because you're missing out on good shit. Really good shit. So, we are reviewing Xscape. Episode number 2. I don't want to call it season 1 because I think it's just like a little mini series. And honestly, I done forgot what the name of this episode was. But honey, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. And I'm always here for all the shenanigans. And I'm just going to go in order. Though I like going by person, I can't because they all over the place and it's all intertwined. And I know I asked you, did you watch Andy Cohen's Watch What Happens Live with Xscape? I asked you if you watched it. I asked you, and I'm going to tell you why in just a few moments, well, few minutes. You got to, you got to stay to the end to hear why I'm asking that question. I put a little lipstick on for y'all today because I ain't been wearing no makeup, so I figure, let my lips pop. This is Chili by MAC. Okay, it's fall season. I'm ready, all my reds. Okay. So when the series starts or the episode starts, we see Kandi at the OLG restaurant. Honey, she gonna make sure to get all kinds of free advertisement for her restaurant. Do you blame her? I do not. I do not. Get all the advertisement that you can. And one of her old good best friends walks in, Tan. She's known Tan since she was 14. And it's been hit and miss because Tan's a businesswoman. And, you know, so is Kandi. They have busy lives. And, you know, when you got busy lives, you really can't make time to go out and eat and all that. So, you know, Kandi's all like, I saved us a table right here for us to sit and talk and eat, you know, and catch up a little bit. Well, I didn't know that there was a 5th member of Xscape. That there originally was a 5th member of Xscape, and that 5th member was who? Tan. And Tan got put out the group because their manager at the time was like, I don't really fuck with her. I don't rock with her like that. I don't like her. If she doesn't go, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to be your manager no more. And Kandi, was feeling like, you know, now at this time in her life, she's all like, I should have, you know, fought for her to stay or something because they didn't know any better. And as you can see later on, they talk about how they didn't even have a manager, how Rocky ended up being their manager. See, so they kicked Tan out for nothing. Tan could have been that one catalyst to help move things over. A whole lot of stuff could have been the catalyst. I think this hair is in my eye. So she was talking about Tasha's husband. They start talking about the dynamic of the group and how things weren't working out and how, you know, whole thing with the business. You just put my name in the business all willy-nilly without asking me. Then she talked about how Tasha's manager Tasha's then boyfriend Rocky was their manager, and he didn't really have any experience in doing it, but he was their manager, and that she doesn't want him to be their manager now. That she doesn't want him handling Xscape as it relates to Kandi right now. I can understand that. And I can understand why. What she said was she felt like Rocky was always trying to put Tasha in the forefront. I mean, I can see that happening too because that was her boo and he wanted her to be successful. He wanted her to get all the coin Tanisha. You know, and Rocky probably blew her head up. And so and that's her man. And she was like, he my man. He is looking out for my best interest. Whoop-de-wop boy. I mean, that's how they ended up with that. Well, you know, Tan is telling her, which is good sound advice. Make sure you do what works best for you on the business side of things as well. You know, don't let them just run through and pull the wool over your eyes and push through like you don't even exist. So I was really with that. I was there. So then we see them at rehearsal number 4 before the BET Awards. And when Tiny walks in, Tiny's all like, let's have a small meeting before we start. Now, I want y'all to keep in mind the band is only there until 6 to practice, and then they leave. So they clear everybody up. They clear everybody out. And she says, you know, Tiny, is everybody doing well? I want to see if anybody have any issues. Now, you remember last episode, Tiny had urged Kandi to make her petitions known. What are your issues? Let us know what your issue is. If they don't know, we can't fix it. I know, but that's not fair that everybody else knows. And I know and everybody else doesn't know. So Kandi brought it up. She said before we start talking about all these tour-ins and Xscape getting back together, I want to see how we do well first, how we do with the Essence Festival and the concert in Detroit before we start talking booking shit in the future. Like, I want to see how it's going. I want to see how we gel, how we mesh, because you really can't really vibe with somebody if y'all not getting along. Michelle from Michelle, who's also reviewing this, go check her out, had mentioned that, I'm not a singer. She's a singer. She says their chemistry was off. And so if your chemistry is off, you definitely, that's just like any relationship. Your chemistry be off, you ain't rocking right. Your chemistry off with your spouse, sex ain't good. Your chemistry off with your children, they ain't listening. Like, chemistry is big. So I can see her point, and I can see Kandi's point saying I need to see first if we mesh before I can go any further with booking tours and shit, okay? Things got a little bit heated, a little amped up, because Tasha and Kandi started to exchange words. Tasha was like, you need to hold yourself accountable and be responsible for what that you don't want to move forward, whatever that little part was. And Kandi was like, I need to be held accountable. Me? I'm holding myself accountable. And then, Kandi, she's very passionate. She's very passionate about the things that are close to her heart. But come to find out, they were like, they always bumped heads. And really, it started with the third album. They used, Kandi told Tasha, you used our third album to set up your solo album. It was a $4 million deal. And she was like, I'm not going to do it unless I get a solo album. Okay. And the attorney had told them that. Tasha wasn't going to work with them without a solo album deal. And Tasha is vehemently adamant about that is not the truth. We are not, I'm not. Tamika over there quiet as a church house mouse. But Tiny y'all is like, well, hold on. Finally, Tiny speaks up, and it really makes Kandi happy. Like, damn, finally. Tiny speaks up and says, no, that's true. Our attorney came in and said you weren't going to do any marketing for this album if you hadn't gotten your own solo deal. You fucked up a solo deal, a $4 million solo deal. And I think they said they only got like hundreds of thousands versus $4 million. Each of them would have had $1 million off that one album. It ain't really till like the third album that they really making money. She fucked that off for them real good. Kandi had said to Tamika, tell the truth, say something. She was like, I'm not saying nothing. That's exactly how we got to this place where we are now, because I felt like I needed to defend my sister. You guys were always bumping heads. You were going on tour. You were going on interviews and telling people that the reason we broke up was because Tasha wanted a solo album. So I felt like it was important that I defend my sister. And that's how I went on the radio and said those malicious things about her. Y'all put a pin in that right there. How I went on the radio show and said she fucked everybody and they daddy, they cousins, they uncles, and they brothers too. So they go back in because they finish talking and they get ready to start rehearsing, honey. But the band is like, the band is gone. They're only there till 6. So y'all telling me y'all get there at what time and y'all don't have no time Y'all ain't about no money. Y'all ain't about no money. Let's get it there. You want to be about your money. I know you stars. I know you all got lives. But just like me, when I have a job that I have to go to, you got to get there at a certain time. Now, I'm late every fucking day. My new shift has changed because I take my son. And people think I'm late. But I be working. I work at home. So, I mean, so I'm just telling y'all. You got to be accountable. Get your ass to work, because how is the band going to leave? Because y'all been having an hour conversation. That means y'all didn't get there till 5? Till 4:30. Y'all was late. Only one on time was Kandi. When they're leaving, Tasha says she wants to talk to Kandi by herself. Y'all have a good night or whatever. And she's trying to get to the place where her and Kandi are getting along. Now, I'm going to give Tasha credit where credit is due, baby. Let me talk to you by yourself. You know, I mean, if y'all watch any of my other videos, Real Housewives of Atlanta specifically, whenever you have something that you need to have a conversation about, it does not need to be an audience, because then it becomes like we saw. But they had to have that conversation as, you know, as business partners, right? But when you have an issue, when you know that there's an issue, you go to the person, you go to the source, and you have that conversation. You don't fucking have that conversation in front of everybody. No. So, when in this scene, I felt like, okay, Tasha, you a grown up. Tasha, you trying to keep the peace that you have in your spirit. You a grown up. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of that. But Kandi went on to tell her, you know, I didn't never think you liked me. I always thought you had an issue with me. We've never vibed. I always felt like that. It ain't nothing new. And Tasha's looking like, wait a minute, but that's not true. And she tells us in her confessional that she's always thought of Kandi as a little sister, that they were family, you know, that they were always at each other's house. So she felt like that she was her big sister, because she didn't have that. And then we also find out more about Kandi's brother, Patrick, that he was really kind of the glue, the mediator, that if he was still living, she felt like that they would have had a longer career than what they had, because they had always, you know, he was always there to interject, to intercede when something was going awry. But then, of course, he died in a car accident when she was 15. So when they got their deal, he wasn't around. So he wasn't around to help them work out any issues that they would normally have. And y'all know how women are messy. Too many women together all the time. You always end up fighting. But if you love each other, you work it out and you move forward. If you don't, you say fuck them and go on about your business. Which to me looks like what had happened. Fuck y'all. I'm going on about my business. So then we see Tasha and her husband going out to have Mexican food. And Tasha begins to start talking about the meeting, right? Talks about the blowout and how Kandi, you know, feels like she didn't like her, and that she just wants Kandi to you know, things to work out between the two of them. And Kandi's talking to Todd about the same situation and how things happen, right? So, but Rocky said something that I thought was spot on, that if you that Kandi could probably be feeling a little resentful. You left us pretty much for dead. You left us for dead. You went on with your solo career. That shit didn't work out. And now Kandi may feel like you want me to save you. Come rescue y'all, and she ain't with it. And it was valid. You know, we didn't get to see what Tasha's response to him saying that was. But that's valid, and I believe it to be the truth. You know, you are holding on to a crutch. Yeah, Xscape should be able to stand on their own, but really now at this point, Xscape to most people is Kandi and Tiny, because we don't know the Scott sisters, and we're getting to know the Scott sisters and their characters right now. What else did he say? He said, you know, she was like, I just want things to work out together. I want us to work together, be able to get to a place where we can work together and be good. And he's saying, as the big sister, you need to knock on the door, break down the windows, and try and figure out how we get to this space. How do we get there? How do we get there? And Todd's all like, at the end of the day, this is business. This is business. You need to figure out how it's going to work for business. Y'all know Todd is all about the money. Todd is all about the business. Todd is like, listen, he pretty much saying, detach your emotions and get the coin, secure the bag, babe. He is actually her support system and a good sounding board. Like, this is business. This is business. You really don't fuck with them. This is business. Rehearsal number 5. And they're singing, do you want to? Like I want to. Now, see how I want to make love to you? You see how I'm singing? Now, I ain't a singer. I ain't got no albums out. And I sound horrible. Okay? That's how Tiny sounds to me. Tiny sounds like I'm trying to sing with the group. Do you want to? Like I want to make love to you. Like she sounds like, okay, maybe not as bad, but bad enough, okay? Bad enough. And I'm going to just say, D major, I have a note right here. D major, the band leader is Xscape Still Kickin It. Let's see. Okay, so we see we see Tocha and Kandi talking about the set list, saying that they're going to collaborate with it together. And previously, it may have always have been Tasha's responsibility, but now Kandi says, I have more background, I know the business better, let's talk about this together. We're gonna talk about the set list, and we're gonna talk about what songs we're gonna choose for the BET Award. So they go and meet at the Candy Factory. Rocky drops off Tocha. Kandi, of course, is already there with her sound engineer, with her producer, excuse me. Right? It was her producer, or was it her sound? It was her producer. So they're already there, and they're working. And when Rocky drops her off, he's all like, be good and tell Kandi to act right. And I'm thinking to myself, girl, don't say that. I hope you don't say that. Be quiet. Just go in there and be like, hey, girl, hey, because you don't want to stir the pot. It's already boiling, okay? You don't want to stir the pot. It ain't an ember. It's full-blown flames underneath that pot, and somebody going to get burnt. You don't want to do it. And she didn't. Thank God. So when Tocha walks in, Tasha's all, oh, this is nice. This is really nice, you know. And I'm sure there's some envy boiling up in her right now. Like, this could have been me. I could have been, if I didn't have my issues. You know, she had said she had went through a depression. I don't even think I wrote that down anywhere. But she had said she had went through a depression after she had lost her deal. When Jermaine Dupri had left Sony, she just got lost in the shuffle. So she recorded a few songs, but they were never released, and she had lost her deal. I kind of felt for her right there, because that is something that would send you in a downward spiral. But I'm so glad that Rocky stuck around with her, because I bet you he was the breadwinner for a few years, because she was probably just devastated at the fact that it didn't go as planned. I mean, wouldn't you be? Shit, I'd be too. Back to the Candy Factory. So she comes in and she's all like, oh, this is really nice. This is really nice. That bitch Kandi said, is this your first time here? Bitch, you know it's her first time here. Why would you even say that? What? You ain't even talked to her in 9 years. We all know that because you keep telling us. And Tocha came right back with, Tocha said, yeah, she was never invited. I was never invited. And they kind of laughed it off, you know. Was that a jab, or was that just an accident? Like, oh, it's your, you know, like, just because that's her regular response to what people say when she comes in. Is it your first time here? Oh, you ain't never been here before? Like, was that a mishap, or was she throwing all kinds of shade? You get some shade. You get some shade. I'm sprinkling shade everywhere. Like, was that what she was doing, or was she just genuinely, like, you know, didn't know what to say, and that was just a response? Y'all hear the ice cream truck? Me too. It's loud as fuck, but it's gonna go through. I hope I don't get no copyright for the ice cream truck. So they needed, Kandi told Tocha, we need to do less than 4 minutes for the BET Awards. Tasha's looking like less than 4 minutes. You know, they wanted first. She said, do you know how long it's supposed to be? And Tocha and Kandi said less than 4 minutes. And Tocha was like, less than 4 minutes? How are we gonna do that? And so Kandi said, well, I had already got started. And here's what I've come up with so far. And it was Just Kicking It, Into Understanding. And I can't remember what was the third song off the top of my head. And they actually vibed and did really well together in creating the set list. Or not even, that ain't a set list. The snippet for the BET Awards. I want to just stop till it goes by, but I think somebody asked for some ice cream. And I feel like I'm shouting because of the ice cream truck. I know that I'm shouting. I shout already. Shit. So then we go to Tamika's house. We see Tamika, and we see Tamika's oldest daughter. What was her name? Help me, y'all. Osha. Y'all, I thought her name was Ocean, but my friend was like, no, I think they're saying Osha. Osha. I said, okay, Osha. Anyway, she's getting ready for her wedding, and it was good to see a little insert. It was good to see the dad, who's a security guard. I mean, he cute. Anyway, I digress. And then we see Tanaya comes in. And, you know, Tanaya is the singer-songwriter. And we see them at rehearsal number 6. 6 days away from the BET Awards. And you can see Kandi sitting on the couch. She's waiting. She's irritated. She calls Todd and she says, they're late. They're late. Why are they always late? It's 6 days away and we got some shit that we need to do. There's some shit we need to learn. We need to have this thing smoothed out. You know Kandi's really business-minded. She don't want her shit to be fucked up, okay? She don't. The girls start trickling in, and Tamika calls herself being funny, talking about she been there, and it takes me 2 hours, and blase, blase. But, you know, Tamika's always late. She's always late. Like when she was late, I want to say she was late the day before, too, and that's what she said. I had to give my husband some before he left. Now he wanted some before I left, and I had to give him some. Now, I'm going to give it to her. I'm in a group, and my husband said, babe, run it. I'm going to be like, okay, because I don't want him to get it from somewhere else. I'm going to have the courtesy to send a text message and say, y'all, my husband is holding me up a little bit. He wanted a little bit of this goodness and mercy. So I'll be there as soon as I can. I got to take care of him first. And all of those women are married. So all of those women would understand that. You got to learn how to communicate that shit. So they're late and Kandi is perturbed, irritated by it. And so she was saying, you know, they rehearsed. Y'all don't even remember when Drea was there with the choreography and all that shit. Was it this time? But she was there. They rehearsed. Okay. I think it was this time because she had said we need to get here earlier. She was like, you know, even if it's not to practice with the band, because the band gets there at 10 and they end at 6. Even if it's not, we get there earlier so that we can practice our dances. Because she was like, because this don't look good. This ain't together. Because they look like garbage is what she pretty much was saying. And we really need to be tight. We really needed to have it going on and getting it together. But right now we look like shit. Okay? Ain't nobody gonna want to see y'all twirling around and y'all don't know what the fuck you're doing. But, so then we see Tiny go visit her daughter Zanique in the studio, and her daughter is preparing for the BET experience. She was part of the OMG girls, but now she's going solo. I don't know what happened to them. You know, it wasn't no big deal, I guess, but she going solo, and she looks pretty good, and she sounds good. I'm gonna have to go look up her song. She sounds like she a millennial, and that people would like her, and I hope they promote her really well. Tiny and T.I. are her producers. Then at rehearsal number 7, we see, we find out that Detroit has sold out, honey, in 24 hours. A 6,000 person stadium is sold out. Because you know we want to see Xscape, okay? Anybody in my era, hell, anybody younger than me really wants to see Xscape. Even if they ain't never heard one of their songs because Kandi is in it, because they know Tiny and all the drama that she got. They want to see. Then you got Tamar Braxton that's touring with them and one other person, and I cannot, why is it escaping me? Is it Keisha Cole that's touring with them? Anyway, sold out, okay, in 24 hours, which is amazing. And you know, Kandi had to acknowledge it. She had to get off her soapbox for a minute, all that complaining and shit, and be like, you know, it feels good to have sold something out in 6 hours. You know, Kandi ain't never had no album by herself. Oh, she did. I lie. See how fast I forget. She didn't have no full album. We got singles and singles and singles. We don't know how well she would do by herself either, okay? So let's just keep that thing 100. We really don't. That just reminded me. Okay, y'all. Kandi said, you know, we really need to consider revisiting the old choreography, because all of this, we look like hot garbage. Like, we not together. It's not flowing. Maybe we need to revisit doing, like, that's what they know, right? Like, I don't know. Y'all don't remember? That was what they did. And then they got, you know, yeah, okay. My age is showing. It's cute though, my age. But in comes Mama Joyce, honey. In comes Mama Joyce, and anytime Mama Joyce go, I'd be like, girl, you too old to be so messy. Every time you see her, I look like, oh, is she about to start some shit? Is it about to be a girl fight? So when she comes in, the girls are very welcoming, and they say how she was a mother figure to them all, how she would take them to get their hair done. She was the one doing the shopping for them, which also made me say, okay, where was the Scott sisters' moms? Well, we know that Miss Ann, Tiny's mom, was around, and you know, it was just that's what it was. But where was the Scott sisters' moms? We don't know anything about them yet, about her yet. Was she living? Who were they living with? That kind of thing. Were they living with their grandmother? I'm nosy like that. Like, I want to know all that information. And she brings out these photos, and you see this photo of Tamika squatted down. That was the pose to do back then. So y'all, I know y'all was looking like, what is she doing? That was the pose. That was what was in, honey. It was a little hoochie / hood kind of pose that you would do when you had a big old booty. And I'm going to say it again. Tamika's booty on this episode is getting on my nerves. But Mama Joyce says, I want to hear y'all sing. I want to hear y'all sing. So they begin to sing. And, you know, to me, they sound better in rehearsals. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that than they did at the BET Awards. But she told them, okay, so you guys need to concentrate more on singing. Y'all a singing group, not on this dancing, because if you ain't got the singing group to get the singing together, don't nobody give a fuck about all that dancing and gyrating you doing. Why don't you just sing a song, bitch? You little bitches, sing a song. That's it. That's it. Do a two-step. It's probably why we didn't see all that choreography on the BET Awards. Okay, so what did you guys think about this episode? And are you looking forward to the next episode? So yeah, I know I told y'all I would say what I was alluding to in the beginning on Watch What Happens Live. So number one, Xscape, which is now Tiny, Tamika, and Tocha, are recording new music, writing new songs. They're going to come out with a new album. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Xscape is back together minus Kandi. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's going to be successful without Kandi? Do you think that they are going to be able to stand on their own without Kandi? That was a fucking bomb. Boom. That was hit. So how do you feel about that? Because Kandi was like, they're writing new music. Kandi, they're writing new music. And are they still considered Xscape? And she looked at them like, and Tiny was like, we are Xscape. Okay, bitch. Was she mad or no? What is the beef? What happened between Kandi and Tiny that has that little friction? I'm sure they'll work it out, though. I'm sure they'll work it out. But then, so y'all remember last episode, the big deal about all the hoopla about the radio station, and you know, I can't remember his name, but he put me in my place talking about it wasn't in 98. Excuse me, sir, you're correct. It was 2007 when Tamika went on air and bashed Kandi. But when she bashed Kandi, it wasn't all a lie. Evidently, Kandi did fuck Jermaine Dupri. She did. But she didn't fuck his daddy and the whole So Def records. You know, they used to say Kandi was a hoe. But listen, we all have a past. We all have a past. And I'm all like, Jermaine was getting all the good pussy, wasn't he? He got Janet Jackson. He got Kandi. I mean, come on, y'all. Come on, he was. Who else he didn't hit? Y'all know? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm so damn nosy. I'm so damn nosy. He was getting them girls with his little ugly self. He was getting them. And it came out, y'all. That's what it was said. Because Tamika was like, what part was I lying about? Well, bitch, you apologized on the radio, but did not clarify what you were apologizing for. So for like Andy, the rest of us thought that you were lying about Jermaine Dupri too. But then Kandi was like, well, no, we never said that it was Jermaine that you were lying about. It was the rest of the slander that you had done on the radio. And she was like, because you know, shit. I'm sure Todd knows who she done fucked already. So that, because Atlanta's small, that little area community is small, so he already knows, because he ain't from there, but he already knows the words have been, you know, she probably made sure to have the conversations with him herself, because she didn't want to play that game. Listen to them fucking dogs down the street, y'all. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my review of Xscape Still Kickin It, episode number 2. I ain't calling it season 1 because I don't know, is there going to be a season 2? Like, maybe if Mona Scott's involved, huh? Maybe I should start saying season 1. Anyway, hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll see you on the next video.